No, we can't take a decision from the picture alone. It's not enough information.
Not enough information. Why you say no one?
Because we can't do it from picture.
John, you can't determine John? Okay, let us go. John,
Stabile.
John, who's good for John?
Stabile.
But see, United Kingdom is in Europe, so people from United States don't think that they are going to take.
All right. Can you settle down?
Yeah.
Tell me, who is the most preferred candidate?
Stabile.
Okay. John?
There is.
John? Yes. Most preferred candidate, seriously. Who is the most preferred candidate? John? Stay, John. Some of you are... So, let me take this through and give you my experience. Today's reality is still true that our packaging may rule who is more appealing, who is more acceptable, who is more marketable. From my experience in the world of international consulting in the last 20-something years, from my experience, let me share with you that I think the least preferred candidate will be first a woman. Right? You know, it is in recent years that I've started doing more work with women. And I only now know the struggles of women. And sometimes I think we reach such a level of arrogance that sometimes we think we're born of an idea, not of a woman. When we reach a certain level of arrogance, we sometimes think we were born of an idea, not of a woman even, right? So the least preferred word first, between a man and a woman, would be a woman. And she would be black.
Yes. Yeah.
Like me. Brown, black, or black. Like me. Right?
Yes.
And this person would be most probably from a developing or underdeveloped country. And most likely today, post 911, she will be the woman who wears a veil or a headgear. These are the women who will be at the bottom of the ladder. And I am maybe one step slightly above because I don't wear a headgear. But I am from a Muslim country. This is the least preferred candidate. And of course, the most preferred candidate is still the John Smith profile. And I can tell you from my personal experience, because I work with a lot of international, multinational corporations. It is still very real. My post-Humphrey experience in the world of international consulting informs me. It's still very real even today, maybe in some ways even more so. Mind you, not only the multinational corporation or the international organization, but even the decision makers in your country and my country may still prefer the John Smith profile. My CV has been rejected in some countries because of the fact that even if there was no one with a John Smith profile, but the fact that I come from Malaysia and I'm a woman was not good enough in some developing countries. So it's an uphill battle for many of us, male or female, of certain profiles because we have been stereotyped and boxed in as least preferred and least competent. Just because of our names, how we look, color of our skin, gender, our dress, our religion, our country. And I think many of you will agree with me. Where was I 24 years ago and before that? Where was I placed? In the bottom of the ladder. I was and am still relegated to the bottom part of the ladder and given no chance and face my own entry barrier almost everywhere. I can tell you when I came to the United States last year, the immigration officer at the desk told me that the computer doesn't like your name. You know, we have great difficulties with first name, surname, father's name, family name, what's your surname. Some of us have no surnames, am I right?
Yeah.
Some people have surnames, some have no surnames. I have a surname, but it's always mistaken as my given name. And so he had difficulty finding my name because of the initial, and he told me, without batting an eyelid, that the computer doesn't like your name. Perhaps he was joking, but I was frightened. Because I'd come all the way and I was very nervous that I'd be sent back. So when I started my business, I realized if anything, I have to work 10 times harder. Maybe more. Conditions of my background. Please don't get me wrong for that one experience that I'm telling you, because I have 20 or 30 wonderful experiences for every negative experience. And I want to address that, especially the question that Sandra from Uganda raised last night. Is it Sandra? Where are you? Right. And I want to address that as well and give you my perspective, my take on that. Conditions of my background, where did I come from? I want to share this with you because I want you to know that if I could do it, anybody could do it. An ordinary life, a small town, rural town in a developing country, poor country at that time, Malaysia, many years ago. Today we are a mid-income country, I think. Lower middle-income family, parents both public servants, father a clerk, or a clerk as they say in America, in a government department, mother a nurse midwife. Child of minority immigrant community, Indians form 7% of the Malaysian population, Indian Sri Lankan origin, brought there by the British to work in rubber plantations. Single parent home, my father died when I was 15. My mother had 8 children. Public school, I went to a public school in a rural area, sometimes no teachers, and sometimes I walked miles to school. My first degree was in a local university in economics, and my first job was as a government official in the Ministry of Finance of my country. That was me before the program. Today, someone like me who started at the bottom of that ladder, at the bottom of that preferred ladder. My core specialization is leadership skills, negotiations and conflict management. I also teach presentation skills and service delivery. I have trained approximately 16,000 participants in 5 continents and traveled to about 30 countries, sometimes multiple times. Trained people from more than 150 countries in international workshops like you, from all sectors, public, corporate, trained decision makers, policy makers, professionals, leaders, managers. Countries visited, the list is there. I think I won't go through it. It's there, you will get the slides later, you can see. I think most of your countries are, some of your countries are here. Clients, they are here. My latest client is Coca-Cola. I also do a lot of work with NGOs, hospitals, schools, and universities. Ladies and gentlemen, we are born and raised in conditions, John Maxwell said. We are born and raised in conditions. But you have to find ways and means to change those conditions to choices. Many of us have had opportunities to change those conditions by our choices. That's why you are here. And this year is another truly great opportunity to create opportunities to make new choices. Knowing the lens, the paradigm, the mindset of this world that we all live in, do we just say, the world does not like me? In fact, it's against me. What's the point? It's too tough. Let's not bother. It's a losing battle. Do we just give up even before we start? Maybe we just peg our vision a little bit lower. What would have happened if Barack Obama said, I'll just try to be the Vice President of the United States? He would have just been the Vice President. Could I have done better in 87, 88 to invest for my own future so as to take leadership initiatives when I return? To make changes, to lead, to achieve my dream, to give life to the Humphrey spirit, to optimize my ear for leadership skills. What could I have done better? For you, what does it mean to be successful, to be a leader? What does it mean? What is success for you? I want to do another quick activity at the table, and I request my friends from IIE at this point to send to every table. I think you already have the rolls of tape. Every table, every group at every table, I will give you 10 minutes to construct a tall, high tower. It must be freestanding, on the floor, not pasted or supported anywhere. Not pasted to the floor, not leaning against the wall. It must be an attractive tower, stable tower, and do it with the least amount of resources. Listen out for my instructions first. You have to do it with the least amount of resources. So the less paper you use, the better. But you are allowed to use maximum 10 flip chart papers. Your resources are 10 flip chart papers, 5 feet of masking tape. When I ask you to start, I will tell you where to go get the tape. Tools will be given to you. The tools are a pair of scissors if you want to cut the tape and the paper, 2 marker pens to beautify your tower, but they cannot go in as building material. The building material is only paper and tape. Time 10 minutes only. Output, the winning table will be the table with the tallest, most attractive and stable tower. That's the assignment. I will ask shortly, not now, one representative from each table to collect the tapes which are at the doors. 1 string of tape each. 1 string of tape each. Before you start, I want to ask you if you have any questions, because once you're doing it, I won't entertain questions. Madam? That's up to you. You have 10 minutes. 10 minutes is given to you to decide how you want to do it. Any questions? You will finish in 10 minutes time, 8, 9, 25.